Welcome to my latest case, The Secret of the Old Clock. To start, choose Junior or Senior Detective. If you're new to adventure games or need some help, click on Tutorials.
The year, 1930. The place, the road to Titusville, where we find Nancy Drew behind the wheel of her blue roadster, pondering this question. Why did Emily Crandall, a girl whom Nancy knows only through their mutual friend Helen Corning, ask Nancy to drive all the way out to the Lilac Inn to see her? Does it have something to do with the fact that Emily's mother died barely a month earlier, leaving Emily to run the restaurant with only her guardian to help her? And more important, why, when she called, did Emily sound so desperate? The spunky teenager turns off the main road, blissfully unaware that Emily isn't all that awaits her at the end of the driveway. No, Nancy Drew is about to get her first taste of the mystery, intrigue, and adventure that are to become her destiny.
Drop a nickel and there we go. Now, how may I be of service?
I'd like to talk to Carson Drew. His number is KL57187.
Hang on a minute.
Carson Drew speaking.
Hi, Dad.
Well, I see you got to Titusville okay.
The car ran like a top.
It ought to. That's a fine car. You treat it well, it'll treat you well. Listen, as it turns out, I just called there and left a message for you to call me.
You did?
I need to get some documents from a colleague over there. I thought since you were in the area, you could pick them up, save him paying postage.
Sure. What's the address?
He said he'd just leave them for you at the telegraph office. Just drive into town and look for Tubby Telegrams. He said you can't miss it.
Will do.
These papers are extremely important, Nancy.
I will pick them up, Dad.
Good. Remember, watch your gas gauge and get gas when you're low so you don't run out. And try to avoid potholes. The more you hit, the likely it is you'll wind up with a flat.
Yes, Dad.
And if you do get a flat, take it off and put on your spare, and then head straight to a gas station and get it fixed.
Yes, Dad.
All right, lecture over. Have you found out why Miss Crandall asked you to visit?
Not yet.
You've done your daughterly duty, now go see Emily, and after that...
I know. Pick up those documents.
That's my girl.
Goodbye, Dad.
Keep in touch.
Well, hello. I'll bet my bloomers you're Nancy Drew.
That's right. Are you Emily's guardian?
You got it. I'm Jane Willoughby. I'm Emily's guardian, but only for the next 3 months until she turns 18. Then she's on her own.
It smells like someone's been baking pies.
Pies are the Lilac Inn specialty. We get orders from all over. Oh, that reminds me, your father called. You're supposed to call him. You can use the coin phone on the porch.
I already talked to him, but thanks for the message.
Emily didn't say anything about you coming until just this morning.
Is it okay that I'm here?
Don't get me wrong, she can invite anybody here she wants. It's just that she's gotten so darn forgetful lately.
Maybe she's just, still thinking about her mom.
She misses her mom, that's for sure. So do I. Gloria and me, we were best friends, you know? The two of us ran this swell little dress shop over in Capital City. But then she got hitched and I didn't. And the next thing I know, she's writing me saying it would sure take a load off her mind if I could take care of her little girl should something ever happen to her.
It was nice of you to say yes.
I couldn't say no. I mean, what are best friends for? I just wish I knew how to help Emily.
You make it sound like she's in some kind of trouble.
She's been acting so... Look, go talk to her. She probably just needs to spend some time with a bear cat like you instead of some dumb Dora like me. Go on up, she's in her room. Just make like a Boy Scout and be prepared.
Nancy, hi. Welcome to the Lilac Inn. Oh, and before I forget, thank you for that nice note you sent me when Mom died. It meant a lot to me.
Well, I lost my mom too, years ago. I kind of know how you feel.
You and I may not be best friends or anything, but you're still one of the nicest people I know.
You obviously need to get out more.
That's why I'm hoping you'll do me a favor, a big favor. You and your dad?
What kind of favor? Shh! What's wrong?
I thought I heard something. Your father has a safe, right?
This is 1930. Lots of people have safes.
See this jewelry? I'd like you to take it home with you and put it in your father's safe.
It's beautiful.
It was my mother's. The few times I saw her wear it, she looked just like a movie star. I was hiding it here in my room, but all things considered, I'd feel a lot better if you would just take it home and have your father lock it up in his safe.
What do you mean, all things considered?
Strange things have been going on around here. That's all I can say. I know it sounds loony, and Jane probably told you that I've been acting loony, but please do this for me. What was that?
Emily, come downstairs, quick! The kitchen's on fire!
Come on, we better get out of here.
This is horrible, just horrible! The fire chief says the stove was completely destroyed and there's smoke damage everywhere. The inn will have to shut down for months, maybe even for good.
Does he know what caused the explosion?
It looked to him like one of the burners on the stove had been left on. The flame either went out or was never lit, but anyway, something made a spark and boom. He said insurance companies are very reluctant to pay out when things look hinky, and that's when times are good.
Where did Emily go? She was right here.
Emily was the last person to use the stove. Like I said, she's been real forgetful lately. I think she's pretty upset. But it's not her fault. What with her mom passing away barely a month ago, and me showing up, this total stranger who doesn't know the first thing about kids or running a restaurant, and her trying to do everything all by herself. It's just too much, that's all. Who wouldn't go a little off their nut? I better get that. The line to the regular phone got burned up in the fire, so now the only phone we got is the coin phone on the porch. Excuse me.
Emily?
My mother's jewelry! It's gone! Someone must have stolen it while we were all downstairs. I knew something like this was going to happen. I just knew it.
You mean this sort of thing has happened before?
Yes. No. I'd rather not say, but I will say this. I did not leave the stove on. That fire was not my fault. Oh, what am I going to do? Without that jewelry, I don't have a prayer of paying for a new stove, and without a stove, I'll have to sell the inn, and if I lose the inn... I wish Mom were still here. I wish Josiah Crowley had left us the money like he always said he was going to. That's what I wish.
Who's Josiah Crowley?
He was this old man that lived next door. He died last year. He spent most of his time here at the inn, and he led my mom and me to believe that he'd left a lot of money for us in his will. He gave us a clock, and afterwards, he'd always point to it and get this little twinkle in his eye and say, "Time will tell." But when they finally found his will, he didn't leave us a penny.
Maybe he didn't leave you anything because he didn't have anything.
Oh, he didn't act like it, but he was rich. His estate was worth almost $250,000. Everything went to Richard Topham. He's this man who claims to be able to help people develop their paranormal powers.
Why do you suppose Josiah left everything to him?
Josiah was kind of a screwball. One time he showed up at my birthday party dressed as my great-aunt Harriet. I didn't know it was really him until 2 days later. Anyway, he had all these weird hobbies, and he always thought it would be really keen to read minds. Josiah invited Richard Topham to move in so Topham could help him develop his paranormal powers right there in his house. Josiah was a sweet old man, and I do miss him, and he was free to give his money to whomever he wanted. But to get our hopes up like that, and then leave us nothing, it just wasn't like him.
Was your mother's jewelry insured?
Gosh, I forgot about that. I don't know. Jim Archer, I bet he'd know. He's our banker. I guess I should go talk to him.
You don't sound very happy about it.
I'm just so bad at business things. And Jane, my guardian, she tries hard, but she's no good at it either. Maybe you could go talk to him. Please? It would be such a big help.
Sure.
He runs the Main Street Bank. You can't miss it. I'll call him and tell him you're coming.
Where is Richard Topham now?
He still lives in Josiah's house, which is right down the path out back. His house and the inn were built at the same time by two brothers during the Civil War.
How many people knew you kept your mother's jewelry in here?
No one. Well, Jane, my guardian, she knew, but I didn't tell anyone else.
I'll be back in a little bit.
You're the best.
Is this your sewing machine?
Actually, that belonged to my mom. She and Jane used to be dressmakers. Mom was going to teach me how to use it, but she never got the chance.
So, is Emily all right?
Someone stole her mother's jewelry.
What?
Did you happen to see anyone go upstairs during all the commotion that the fire caused?
No. You mean someone stole it while everybody was rushing around trying to put out the fire? Hypers! If you can't trust a fireman, who can you trust?
Emily said you were the only one who knew she had that jewelry.
When Gloria was alive, she could have told people about it, or people may have seen her wearing it. And when she died, they knew the jewelry had to be around here somewhere, right?
Does anyone in particular come to mind?
Sorry. It's been hard enough getting to know Emily, let alone anyone else in this backwater burg. Well, guess better go call the sheriff.
Is that your car I saw when I drove up the driveway?
My old rust bucket's parked out back where nobody'll see it. Be nice to buy something decent, but last time I checked, my last name was Willoughby, not Rockefeller.
Well, I'll talk to you later.
You betcha.
Looks like I need to get the bird from one side to the other. Wonder what this mirror's doing in here. That car I saw before is gone. Hello, I'm looking for Jim Archer.
Right through that door. Hello, are you Nancy Drew?
Yes, are you Mr. Archer?
Yes, ma'am. Jim Archer. I'm founder, president, manager, and just about everything else you can name when it comes to this fine enterprise.
Did Emily tell you why I'm here?
She just said you were coming and that she'd appreciate it if I would talk to you. Terrible thing, losing her mother like that, then being saddled with that restaurant, especially now.
My dad says banks aren't doing too well these days.
Ever since the stock market crashed, one business after another has closed, including banks. President Hoover keeps saying that a recovery is just around the corner, but you have to wonder.
Some people say we're headed for a depression.
Well, that kind of pessimism is not only misguided, it's pointless. Thinking ahead and taking action, that's what we businessmen should be doing right now. And I'm happy to report that we're doing just fine, thank you. Excuse me. Main Street Bank, Jim Archer speaking. No, I don't. I'm sorry, but... Yes, I know, but... All right, then just bring it by. Sorry for the interruption. How can I help you?
Do you happen to know whether the jewelry Emily inherited from her mother was insured?
Well, I know for a fact that it was not. Why?
Because someone snuck into the inn today and stole it.
Oh, no. I heard there'd been a fire in the kitchen, but when it rains, it pours, doesn't it? I told Gloria not to let that policy lapse.
Did Gloria always rely on you for business advice?
Sometimes. You see, I have experience in the law as well as accounting, but in this case, she wouldn't listen to me. She felt that since Josiah Crowley would be leaving her a large sum of money when he died, or so she thought, paying to insure her jewelry just wasn't necessary.
How well did you know Josiah Crowley?
Well enough for him to name me executor of his will. An executor is the person who makes sure the terms of a will are carried out.
Why do you think he wound up leaving Gloria nothing?
I have no idea. Truth be told, he'd given me the impression that I would be well taken care of when he passed on too. But when I finally read his will, it all went to Topham.
Where did Josiah keep his will?
He'd hidden it in a chest of drawers in his house. It took me months to find it. When he named me executor, he said he'd tell me where it was hidden when the time was right, whatever that meant.
How did Josiah die?
He was sitting in the public library reading when apparently his heart just decided it was time to stop.
Did he go to the library a lot?
First Thursday of every month. That's when the fan magazines would come in. Know what his favorite book was? The Make-Up Secrets of Lon Chaney.
The will you found in Josiah's house. Is it possible that Josiah didn't really write it?
Well, the thought that it could be a forgery did cross my mind. But an expert verified that the will had been typed on Josiah's typewriter and signed in Josiah's hand.
But Richard Topham lived in Josiah's house. He had access to his typewriter, and he could have copied his signature.
As far as the law is concerned, the matter is closed, Miss Drew.
But it's possible that Josiah's real will is still out there. Are you sure he never gave you any clue as to where he'd hidden his will?
Whenever I asked him, he said he'd tell me when the time is right. Although, he got a safe deposit box here about 3 years ago.
Has it been opened?
Topham has tried to claim its contents, but he can't find the key.
If Topham can't find the key, maybe it's because it wasn't in Josiah's house.
Now, Miss Drew, I wouldn't go jumping to any conclusions.
How well do you know Jane Willoughby? You know, Emily's guardian?
Not well at all. Met her once or twice. Seemed a little flighty.
Do you think Emily's going to be able to run the inn by herself?
Times are just too tough. If she's smart, she'll sell before the bills start piling up.
I guess I'll be going.
Goodbye now.
Don't you ever use this typewriter?
That used to be Josiah Crowley's. It was the only thing he left me in his will. Naturally, it doesn't work. The keys always jam.
October 9, 1929. Dear Mrs. Sheldon, here is the trivet I said you could borrow for your party at Twin Elms. Please take care of it because I will want it back someday. Your friend, Josiah C. I wonder if Josiah ever got his trivet back. Who's Clara?
Clara Pickford is this lonely old woman who comes in here every once in a while. Took a shine to me for some reason. Insisted on giving me that picture.
Where did you get this clock?
Josiah Crowley gave it to me. It stopped keeping time the minute he walked out the door.
It would sure be nice to be able to open this thing. Is this your car?
Yes, it is. Bought and paid for.
Something I can do for you?
Well, my name's Nancy Drew, and my father said
Say no
that...
more. You're here to pick up some papers. They're in that envelope.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Say, is that your roadster out there?
Yes, it is. Did I park somewhere I shouldn't have?
No, it's just that my regular driver never showed up today, so I've got no way to deliver all these telegrams. How would you like to earn some extra cash?
You mean you want me to deliver them for you?
You've got a car, you're trustworthy, or at least your father thinks you are, so what do you say? I'll pay you 25 cents each time you complete a delivery. And you might even get some tips.
Okay, sure.
Great, you're hired. Here, deliver this to Seymour out at Blenheim Nursery. Come back when you're done and I'll pay you and give you another telegram to deliver.
Great. See you in a little while. Mrs. Sheldon?
Yes?
My name's Nancy Drew. I'm a friend of Emily Crandall's.
Get on with it, dear.
I was wondering, would it be possible for me to see the trivet you borrowed from Josiah Crowley?
You may not only see it, you may have it. Once I find it, that is. Unfortunately, I've an errand to run, so I can't look for it right now.
Maybe I could run the errand for you. I have a car.
So I see. A rather expensive car at that. Very well, Miss Drew. Go fetch my bridge cards from Miss Drakowski, and upon your return I shall present you with that trivet.
Who's Miss Drakowski?
The local telephone operator. You can find her at her house, or Titusville Telco, as she insists on calling it. The switchboard is in her parlor. As you can imagine, she never entertains. I, on the other hand, am expecting company within the hour, so do hurry.
A vending machine that just sells toys. Keen. You never know when you're gonna need a toy.
Yeah?
Are you Miss Drakowski?
Yeah? And you are?
Nancy Drew. I'm a friend of Emily Crandall's. You know, at the Lilac Inn.
Oh, yeah! I put you through to your father, didn't I? You pick up those papers for him yet?
Actually, Wait a minute. How did you know about that?
See this headset I'm wearing? I plug it in and what do you know? I hear things. Look, I'm kind of pressed for time. Going to a party and it takes me a while to get dolled up. What do you need?
Mrs. Sheldon asked me to pick up her bridge cards from you.
Tell you what, I'll get you those cards if you drive that fancy car of yours over to the orphanage and pick up some raffle tickets from Mrs. O'Shea. I should be able to unload a ton of them tonight.
I'd be happy to.
Good, I gotta go. Yeah, I'm coming.
Excuse me, are you Mrs. O'Shea?
Yes?
My name is Nancy Drew, and
Stephen, put that down this instant. We do not run with sticks in our hands or in our mouths.
I'm sorry. You were saying?
Miss Jakowski asked me to pick up some raffle tickets from you.
Oh, yes, the raffle tickets. The fact of the matter is
Elsie, no hitting.
I can't even think about those raffle tickets right now. I promised the children they'd each get a toy for going a full week without breaking anything. And I'm short 5 toys.
Do not eat that, Clarence.
Would you like me to get 5 toys for you?
Oh, goodness, if you could do that, I'd be forever grateful. They can be any kind of toy at all. The children aren't the least bit picky.
Of course it tastes bad, Clarence. It's a pine cone.
I better go rinse out his mouth before. Oh, would you look at that? He's actually chewing it.
You're not a squirrel, Clarence. Spit that out this instant.
Hi, do you have 5 toys for me?
I certainly do.
Oh, that's wonderful. You're such a saint, you hear me? A saint. I'd better get these inside before the children see them. Thank you so much.
Mrs. O'Shea, the raffle tickets?
Oh, the raffle tickets. I don't have them, dear. You'll have to pick them up from Phelps' print shop. Then just take them straight to Miss Jakowski.
We don't pull hair, Ralphie. Especially when we have jelly on our hands.
Phelps Print Shop. Wonderful.
Sorry, young lady, I'm about to close.
I'm just here to pick up the raffle tickets you printed for Mrs. O'Shea.
Oh, darn it. I did tell her I'd have those done today, didn't I? Well, I'm sorry, but they're just gonna have to wait until tomorrow.
Oh, but I need to have them today.
And I need to go fishing.
Fishing?
My brother-in-law thinks he's hot stuff because he caught an 18-inch largemouth bass this morning. So I bet him I could catch a 19-incher by the end of the day. And if I do, I get his stamp collection. And if I don't, he gets mine. And since stamp collecting is about the only hobby I can afford these days, I'm going fishing.
I know. You stay here and print those raffle tickets, and I'll go fishing for you.
Not everybody can catch a 19-inch largemouth bass, you know. It takes skill and muscle and brains. Bass are pretty smart.
I can do it, Mr. Phelps.
You better be right, because you're not getting those raffle tickets until I get my 19-incher. You can use my gear. I left everything out at the fishing hole.
Great. I'll see you later. First thing I need to do is bait my hook. Ooh, yuck. Now I toss this in the water, and when the bobber goes under the water, I need to pull the line up fast. I got a fish! Looks like 19 inches to me. Oh, no offense, Mr. Fish, but you stink.
Well, let's see what you got in there. How about that? You did it. Here, let me take it from you.
Please do. I think it's starting to get a little ripe.
Just rest yourself a minute while I get those raffle tickets. There you go. 10 dozen tickets to the annual Orphans Benefit. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go make a telephone call.
To your brother-in-law?
Yeah, the one who used to collect stamps.
Bye.
Hi, you got those raffle tickets for me?
I sure do.
Great. And here are Mrs. Sheldon's bridge cards. One of the gals spilled Moxie all over them, but I cleaned them up real good, so let's not tell Mrs. Sheldon, okay?
Okay. Thanks for your help, Miss Jakowski.
Thanks for your help. Bye now.
Do
Do you have my bridge cards?
Right here.
Good. And here is Josiah's trivet. I didn't realize when I asked to borrow it that it was such an eyesore. But once a sumptuous dish of my buff stroganoff was placed atop it, I assure you, no one noticed. Now do run along. My guest will be arriving any minute, and that dress of yours, it's, well...
I like this dress. It's very flouncy. Hello, I've got a telegram for Seymour.
Just leave it on the desk there. I'd, tip you, but as you can see, my hands are filthy.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to doll up some of my plants before this guy named Mr. Martin comes in. He's a big cheese at some oil company, and I'm hoping he... Ow!
Did that plant just bite you?
It did kind of feel that way.
I think I'll be going now. Bye! Got it. Looks like someone recently had a key appraised. Oh, a miniature golf course. Swell. Interesting. Looks like I'm supposed to put my scorecard in here when I'm done. Looks like the ball and putter go here. Looks like I'm supposed to put my scorecard in here when I'm done. I hit it too hard. I hit it too hard. I hit it too hard. Hooray! Looks like I'm supposed to put my scorecard in here when I'm done. A little toy pony.
Over here, Miss Drew. Find the toy mouse and give it to Yuri, would you please? Otherwise, he'll just keep meowing. He hates strangers. How nice of you to drop by. And thank you for walking instead of parking in the driveway. I'm expecting a pupil. I'd hate for her to have to park on the road.
Mr. Topham?
Richard Topham at your service.
What were you doing just now?
I was in the process of trying to make these spoons move by using nothing but my own psychic energy. Have you ever focused sunlight through a magnifying glass until it was a minute yet searing point of light, Miss Drew?
Yeah, I guess.
You see, that's what I do with my cerebral emanations, my thoughts. I focus them until they're a beam of pure energy which ultimately disrupts and transforms the molecular force field surrounding the target object.
Is that what you teach people in your school? How to beam their thoughts?
I take them through exercises designed to help them increase their output of phantasmic energy. If you want to sign up for an introductory session, I believe I have an opening today.
What I'd really like to do is talk about Josiah Crowley.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm busy, young lady, far too busy to engage in idle conversation.
You're not trying to hide something, are you, Mr. Topham?
I'll be blunt, Miss Drew. I've discovered that the more time I spend with the, shall we say, intellectually unendowed, the more my cerebral pulsations seem to diminish. I'm afraid I cannot speak to you further unless and until you prove that you are worthy. That is, that your brainwaves are not unacceptably inferior and thus deleterious to mine.
My brainwaves are just fine, Mr. Topham.
What I have here is an exercise in logic. If you can discern the correct solution, then I'll know that conversing with you will do me no psychic harm. You may take it with you. Good luck and good day.
That looks right. Am I smart or what? I'm getting there. That looks right. Am I smart or what?
Am I to assume that you have the correct solution to that logic problem?
Right here.
Let's have a look. Why, you appear to have indeed found the solution. Well, since you've proved yourself to be intellectually above average, which means talking to you should do me no harm, what would you like to talk about?
Just what does the word paranormal mean, anyway?
The paranormal includes telepathy, or communicating by sending and receiving thoughts, extrasensory perception, or perceiving that which cannot physically be seen or heard, and psychokinesis, using one's psychic energy to reshape or move objects.
When and how did you meet Josiah Crowley?
Last summer, while on my way to the university for a conference, I stopped for a bite at the Lilac Inn. Since it was crowded and I was in a hurry, I agreed to share a table with an elderly gentleman who, like me, was by himself. As soon as I told Mr. Crowley who I was and what I did, well, he insisted that I give him a training session that very afternoon, and was so thrilled with his progress that he demanded I stay and teach him everything I knew.
So it was his idea that you set up your school in his house?
Oh, I know rumor has it that I somehow tricked him into it, that I insinuated my way into his home, but I assure you that was not the case.
Were you surprised when you found out that Josiah had left you everything?
Delighted? Yes. Surprised? Not really. Josiah was all alone, you see, surrounded by people like the Crandalls and that banker, Jim Archer, people who were nice to him only because they knew he had money.
What's in the carriage house that's out back, do you know?
That was Josiah's workshop. I assume it contains even more detritus.
Would it be okay if I looked around?
Go right ahead. The place is more like a museum than a house. Josiah was a man of many, many interests. I'll be right here if you have any questions.
Was this Josiah's clock?
Everything in here was Josiah's. As you'll soon realize, Josiah's mental faculties were starting to go, I'm afraid. He tended to ramble. Very little of what he wrote in there makes sense.
What are you when you win barred bounce? What poet is the cat's meow? What will Para, my miniature golf course, get you? What's Gloria's middle name? Decoder is in the rivet. 2 to the right. The man on stage in this picture, is that Josiah?
Yes, that's from a production of A Midsummer Night's Dream that he directed and starred in. It closed after 2 nights, but he didn't care. He loved that play.
What do you do with these?
I put them on the windshields of cars parked in the area. Great advertising.
Ever put them on cars at the Lilac Inn?
All the time. I've gotten quite a few pupils that way. Now what?
What do you think happened to the key to Josiah's safe deposit box?
Josiah no doubt lost it. He had a terrible memory, poor fellow.
Are you still looking for the key?
What's the point? No doubt it's filled with the same thing as this house. Junk. But if it's junk, why haven't I gotten rid of it, you may well ask. Well, I know it's silly to hang on to Josiah's things, but he was a wonderful man, you see, and I just don't have the heart to get rid of them. Too sentimental for my own good, I guess.
Would you happen to know what Gloria Crandall's middle name was?
I haven't the foggiest.
It was nice talking to you.
The feeling is almost mutual.
Drop a nickel into the slot. Very good. Now, How may I be of service?
Hi, Mr. Kowski. Could you please connect me with my dad? His number is KL57187.
Hang on a minute.
Carson Drew,
Hi, Dad.
did you pick those papers up yet?
Yep.
Great. You can give them to me tonight when you get home from Emily's. So, what else have you been doing?
Emily invited me to Lilac Inn because she wanted me to have you lock her mother's jewelry up in your safe. Only someone stole it before I could take it with me.
Stole it? Good gosh.
That was right after the stove in the kitchen exploded.
The stove exploded? Sounds to me like you'd be well advised to cut your visit there short.
No, I want to find out what's going on. I have to find out what's going on.
You have to?
Well, yeah, you know. Emily just lost her mom, and she's worried about losing the inn, and her guardian's all wet when it comes to helping out, and...
And the truth is, you are so curious that you feel like you'll absolutely burst if you don't find out why all these weird things have been happening, right?
Yes.
Don't worry, I know the feeling. You're a chip off the old block, I'm afraid. Well, as long as you're like me in one other way, you should be fine.
What way is that? Smart?
Careful.
I'm earning money by delivering telegrams for Tubby's Telegrams.
Good for you. That's a great way to meet people and to accumulate a little cash, which might come in handy. You're putting extra wear and tear on your car, you know.
Yes, Dad.
What else have you been up to?
I met Emily's guardian, Jane. What does a guardian do, anyway?
A guardian is pretty much a surrogate parent. Jane is legally responsible for Emily's physical and financial well-being.
Jane doesn't strike me as being the parental type. In fact, I get the impression she's in way over her head.
Fortunately for her, it's not forever. Most guardianships end when the ward turns 18. And then both Jane and Emily will be free to do whatever they please.
If Emily sells the inn, will Jane get part of the profits?
If she's Emily's guardian at the time of the sale, yes. Are you suggesting that Jane's primary motivation is greed? Good grief, where did you get such a suspicious mind?
I think it was from the person who has always told me that the best way to solve a problem is to look at all the possibilities. Dad.
I did say that, didn't I?
Goodbye, Dad.
Keep in touch.
Dropping it very good. Now, how may I be of service?
Hi, could you please connect me with Bess Marvin at KL54468?
Just a second.
Hello?
Hi, Bess, it's Nancy.
George, get over here. It's Nancy Drew. So how's the Lilac Inn?
Beautiful.
Are the lilacs blooming?
Like crazy. They smell so good. It's like the air is made of perfume.
Hi, Nancy.
Is that you, George?
Ouch, that's my foot.
Well, move over.
But I can't hear. You move over. Then I can't hear. Look, just hold the phone like this, okay? There. Can you hear us?
I can hear you fine.
It would be so nice to have two phones in this house. We don't even have a telephone at our house. So quit griping. So, Nancy, what's the scoop?
Has either of you ever been to the Lilac Inn?
I have. They have the best cherry pie there. It's like you get a whole cherry tree in every piece.
Hello? Is someone on the line? Hello?
We're on the line, Mrs. Farthingham.
Well, get off. I need to make a call.
But we just got on.
Then it should be no problem for you to get off.
Just give us one more minute, Mrs. Farthingham, please.
Oh, all right. You have 1 more minute.
Go on, Nancy. What were you saying?
Just that I...
Shh. Wait a minute. Mrs. Farthingham, would you mind hanging up? All clear. Oh, how I wish we didn't have to share a phone line with her. Just be grateful you have a phone, Bess.
Some jewels were stolen out of Emily's room this morning at the same time that a fire destroyed the stove in the kitchen.
Destroyed the stove? You mean they can't bake any more cherry pies?
Not for a while. Emily's worried that she may have to sell the inn.
Is that bad? I mean, she's only 17.
I think she'd like to hang on to it because her mom would have wanted her to.
I sure wouldn't want to be saddled with something like that, even if it meant having all the cherry pie you could eat. I hadn't thought of it that way.
Helping run the inn is all she's ever known.
Are you girls still on the line?
We're not done talking yet.
Well, I've been patient long enough. You girls get off right now.
But we...
Right now, or the next call I make will be to your father.
We gotta go, Nancy.
That's all right. I'll call you later.
And I'll thank you not to listen in.
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Farthingham. Only nosy busybodies listen in on other people's phone calls.
Yes, well, Hang up and be quick about it.
Bye, Nancy.
Talk to you soon.
Drop a nickel into the slot, please. Very good. Now, how may I be of service?
I'd like to call the jeweler, Mr. Waddell, at LK53029.
He's not gonna like that, but it's your nickel.
He's not gonna like what?
He hates it when people call him. Says if they're too lazy to come in and talk in person, he'd just as soon not bother with them.
Oh, well, maybe I shouldn't.
Too late.
What? Waddell Jewelry?
Hello, I found this receipt for an appraisal you did, and I wondered if you could tell me...
Look, I'm busy. If you got something important to tell me, then prove it by getting off your lazy bum and coming down here and telling me eyeball to eyeball. You hear me?
Yeah?
Then repeat after me.
Jeepers.
Told ya.
Oh, Nancy, I'm afraid there's been more trouble.
Don't tell me something else blew up.
It's Emily. Oh, this is silly. I'm her guardian. I should just make her sell this place. She's only 17, for Pete's sakes. She should be out meeting boys and going to parties, not trying to run a business.
Miss Willoughby, what happened?
Just go ask her and make her tell you everything.
Jane told you, didn't she?
Not really.
That picture on the wall over there, I saw it move. I was just sitting here and it moved all by itself. I saw it move, I really did. Last week, a book fell off the shelf for no reason. And before that, I heard these weird noises. And almost every day I hear a voice, like a whisper, coming out of nowhere. Jane thinks it's nerves, but I don't want to talk about this. Did you see Jim Archer?
I'm afraid I don't have very good news.
The jewelry wasn't insured?
No, but I do have some good news, sort of.
Shh! Did you hear that?
Hear what?
Shh! Nothing. I'm going to have to sell the inn, aren't I?
You know, it's possible, just possible, that the will that was found was not the will Josiah wrote.
You mean he may have left us money after all? No, that's wishful thinking. And I refuse to get my hopes up again because they'll probably just get dashed again. Listen, I feel bad enough that you drove all the way out here for nothing. Maybe you should just go home.
Would you mind if I stayed for a while?
No, but I really don't feel like being sociable right now. There's nothing for you to do.
I'd like to see if Josiah hid a second will somewhere.
What are you? Some kind of Sam Spade?
Well, just because I've never solved a mystery before doesn't mean I can't. Anyway, there's no harm in trying, right? Who knows? I might turn out to be good at it.
Be my guest.
Did Josiah ever say anything about hiding his will somewhere?
No, but he was always hiding stuff. I know because he was always writing reminders to himself about how to find it. But whenever the subject of his will came up, he'd just say he was happy knowing we were going to be happy when he passed on. Time will tell. That's all he'd say.
What was your mother's middle name?
Lois. Why?
Oh, just curious. Is the clock in the parlor the one Josiah gave you?
Yes. I don't know why he gave it to us. It's never worked, and nobody can open it to find out why.
Do you have any idea where Josiah may have hidden a safe deposit box key?
He could have hidden it anywhere. He always said his favorite hiding place was right under people's noses.
I'll be back in a little bit.
Thanks again, Nancy.
So, what did Emily say? Did she tell you about the pictures and the voices?
Have you ever seen or heard anything strange around here?
No. In fact, this place is so quiet and dull compared to Chicago that it's a wonder I haven't lost my mind. You know what? I'll bet it's me. I'll bet it finally hit Emily that I'm just not Gloria and never will be, and that running this place is always gonna be all up to her. And it was just more than her poor mind could bear.
I'd like to kind of look around. Is that okay with you?
You betcha. And keep an eye out for those jewels. The sheriff's not going to investigate. He said since nobody got robbed at gunpoint or anything, coming out here again just didn't seem necessary. Said it sounded to him like the jewelry had just been misplaced. You see, It only felt fair to tell him about Emily's, delicate state of mind.
Have you met Richard Topham?
Yeah, I've had the displeasure of meeting that quack.
You don't think he can help people develop their psychic powers?
The only thing he's good at is separating little old ladies and dim-witted rubes from their hard-earned cash. In fact, he came over while they were putting out the fire today. Asked me who you were, and I was so frazzled at the time, I told him. I don't usually give that crackpot the time of day.
Does everybody around here feel that way about him?
Not everybody. Like that circus fella said, there's a sucker born every minute. Me? I think ESP is a lot of J-U-N-K.
Where did that barred bounce game that's in the parlor come from? Do you know?
Emily says Josiah Crowley brought it in one day and just left it. Said it was so guests, as in him, would have something to do while they waited for a table.
Does the miniature golf course that's out back belong to the inn?
No, that was Josiah Crowley's. Way I hear, he built it himself.
Have you tried it out?
Me? Please, I got better things to do with my time.
Well, I'll talk to you later.
Bye now.
Looks like this lever opens the couch. From the looks of those lanterns, I'm not the only one who's been down here recently. An old piggy bank. Swell, $1. This piggy bank looks like it's been here for a long time. I wonder if those tiles are supposed to make a picture. Guess I better not leave the lights on. Jeepers, that sounds like Richard Topham. This door must open right into his living room.
Go, good kitty.
Guess I better not leave the lights on. Hello, are you Mr. Waddell?
So what if I am?
I found this receipt, and I just wondered what you could tell me about it.
Let me see that. One key, determine resale value, item 493. Oh yeah, this was for that key Jim Archer wanted me to appraise.
Jim Archer wanted you to appraise a key?
It was very ornate, had jewels all over it. Fake jewels, as it turned out. When I told him it was worthless, the cheapskate refused to pay me and told me to keep it.
Do you think I could have it?
Sure. once you pay the appraisal fee.
Which is...
$1.50.
Here you go.
Good. Here's the key. Enjoy.
You know, the minute you walked out of here, something occurred to me. You're Carson Drew's daughter, aren't you?
You know him?
We went to law school together, only he actually went into law and I wound up here. So how's he doing? Business pretty good?
Great. Couldn't be better.
That's nice. That's real nice. Well, you tell him you saw me, and you tell him I'm doing just fine too. So what can I do for you?
Was that your car I saw parked near the Lilac Inn this morning?
I haven't been there in months. You saw someone else's car. It's a very popular make and color, you know.
I just wonder what it was doing there.
Probably just someone sneaking onto that miniature golf course that Josiah built back there. Or bootleggers. I hear they frequent that area too.
What's your opinion of Richard Topham?
Interesting gentleman who's in an interesting line of work.
Does he do business here?
Yes, he does.
Have you ever attended one of his training sessions?
No, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I think he's a fraud. He makes a living doing whatever it is he does, so obviously someone thinks he's the real deal.
The key that you had Mr. Waddell appraise, could that be the key to the clock that Josiah Crowley gave you?
It might have been, I suppose. You know about that?
Yes, in fact, I paid the appraisal fee. I have the key right here.
How industrious of you. You see, when he told me the key was worthless, I lost all interest in it.
So, it would be all right if I kept the key for myself?
I have no use for it. In fact, if you want that old clock, you can have it too.
I guess I'll be going.
Say hi to Carson for me.
Did you deliver that telegram?
I sure did.
Good for you. Here's your money. And here's your next telegram. Take this to Counselor Alice out at Camp Avondale. Keep up the good work.
Hi, I've got a telegram for a counselor here named Alice.
That's me. Hang on. Oh, go dry up, Jason! What a jokester. Anyway, thanks. I'm afraid I don't have any money to tip you.
That's okay. Have a swell day.
Welcome to Zippy's, where zipless service is zippily zapped and zippy service is the zippiest. Fill her up?
Just 25 cents worth, please.
That'll be 25 cents.
Here you go.
Thank you, miss. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Drive zippily.
Did you deliver that telegram?
I sure did.
Good for you. Here's your money. And here's your next telegram. Deliver this to Mr. Jones at Vash's Dairy. Keep up the good work.
Hello, I need to deliver this telegram to Mr. Jones.
That's me. Thanks. You can tell me I'm all wet, but I don't have any money to tip you with. Wait a minute. Here, how about a nice fresh glass of milk?
No, thank you. Bye.
Drop a nickel into the... Very good. Now, how may I be of service?
Hi, Mr. Kowski. Could you please connect me with my dad? His number is KL57187.
Hang on a minute.
Carson Drew.
Hi, Dad.
Nancy, everything okay?
Do you remember someone from law school named Jim Archer?
Jim Archer. Yes, I remember him. Glasses, sort of short.
He's in banking now. In fact, he's Emily's banker. He said to say hi.
Jim Archer. How about that?
I'm pretty sure I saw Jim Archer's car parked at the side of the road by the Lilac Inn this morning, just before the explosion.
Are you suggesting Jim Archer was somehow responsible for the explosion?
Well, when I asked him about it, he did seem kind of evasive.
It's okay to have your suspicions, Nancy. But in a town as small as Titusville, it's very easy to alienate people. Until you know the facts, you'd be well advised to keep your suspicions to yourself.
I'm a little worried about Emily.
Why?
She admitted to me that lately she's been hearing voices and seeing things move all by themselves. Jane thinks she's losing her marbles.
Running a restaurant is a big responsibility. Maybe it's getting to her.
Well, that's what Jane keeps saying.
Maybe Jane's got her boots on after all.
Goodbye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Drop it. Very good. Now, how may I be of service?
Hi, could you please connect me with Bess Marvin at KL54468?
Just a second. Hello?
Hi, Bess.
It's Nancy again. Stay off my feet this time, okay? Oh, don't be such a crybaby. Hi, Nancy. What's going on?
What do you guys know about ESP?
I know it would be fun to have ESP. Speak for yourself. You wouldn't like to be able to read people's minds? And know what everybody in school really thinks of my clothes? She's wearing that blouse with that skirt? Ew, what a drip. No, thanks. Oh, George, nobody makes fun of the way you dress. Except for when you wear that paisley scarf with your plaid skirt, you're just asking for it then. Why did you bring up ESP, Nancy?
There's a guy here named Richard Topham. He runs a school for the development of paranormal powers.
Is he on the up and up? Oh, Bess, of course he's not.
Somehow he got an old man to will him his entire estate.
Do you think he had something to do with those stolen jewels?
Well, as a matter of fact...
Shh, hold on. How about you, Mrs. Farthingham? What do you think? Oh, party lines are the pits. When I get my own place, the first thing I'm going to do is get my very own private phone line. And the second thing you're going to do is get 3 jobs to pay for it. Oh, Ishkabibble, it'll be worth it. What were you going to say, Nancy?
I found a passageway leading from the inn to Richard Topham's, which means Topham may very well have stolen those jewels.
No kidding.
I may try to sneak into his house when he's busy with a student and see if I can find them.
You sound like a police detective or something. Wait a minute. Have you been reading Dash Hammett stories again?
Maybe.
Well, just remember, whenever you're around this Topham guy, say the alphabet over and over to yourself. Bess, what are you talking about? It'll keep him from reading her mind. You're out of yours, you know that? Ah, go chase yourself.
I'm trying to find out why Josiah Crowley went around giving people these weird clocks.
Who's Josiah Crowley?
He was this old man who told Emily he was leaving something to her and her mom in his will, but wound up leaving practically everything to Richard Topham instead.
Maybe he was, senile.
From what I gather, he was just the opposite.
Is there anything inside them?
I'm trying to figure that out, too.
Achoo! Mrs. Farthingham, are you on the line?
I was just checking to see if it was clear.
I'll bet she was.
Apparently, Josiah Crowley hid mirrors in the clocks he gave people.
Mirrors? Why would he do that?
I'm not sure yet, but he told Emily that when it came to his will, time will tell. And if the will that was found that gave everything to Topham was a forgery...
Time will tell. The clocks. Maybe the clocks contain clues that will lead to Josiah's real will. The guy went around hiding mirrors and clocks? Nope, sorry. My money's still on senile.
You should see Richard Topham's house. It's still filled with Josiah Crowley's things.
When did Josiah pass away?
About 6 months ago.
You'd think Topham would have sold everything off by now.
I think he's afraid to.
What do you mean, afraid to?
I think he's afraid to get rid of anything because he doesn't know where Josiah's real will is. This way, he can be certain that no one else will find it before he does.
Why would he want to find it? So he can tear it up, Bess. Well, pardon me for not having as devious a mind as you do, George. I prefer to think people are basically kind and generous.
I need to use the phone. You girls have exactly 2 more minutes.
With one exception.
I can't figure out Emily's guardian, Jane Willoughby.
Why? What's wrong with her?
Nothing, really. She just seems so eager to believe that Emily is mentally unstable and that it's all her fault.
Does she have any kids of her own?
Doesn't sound like it.
Then maybe it is all her fault. Being a parent is an incredibly difficult, exhausting job. At least, that's what my parents are always telling me.
She keeps talking to me about how Jane should sell the inn.
Will Jane make any money if Emily sells the inn?
She will if Emily sells it before she turns 18.
The plot thickens.
Has either of you ever played miniature golf?
Yeah, remember when we played last summer, George? That was fun. No, it wasn't. Oh, that's right. I beat her.
Apparently, Josiah Crowley built himself his own miniature golf course right by his house.
No kidding. Is it still there?
Yes, in fact, I've played on it.
Really?
Someone, Josiah probably, left a strange poem on the booth there.
Why?
Good question. It was probably some sort of oddball reminder to himself.
George, when I'm rich, if I start getting eccentric, kick me, okay? With pleasure, Bess.
That's it for now.
Bye. Oh, and if you call back and we're not here, it means we went to see this movie called The Big Trail. Yeah, this guy named John Wayne is in it. Helen says he's a real dreamboat. We'll let you know if she's right.
What's cooking?
Well, I'll talk to you later.
You betcha.
Something about this clock reminds me of the poem I saw at the mini golf course. I wonder what goes here. If I could let some light in here, I might be able to reflect it off these mirrors. Something tells me I need to adjust the mirrors so that the light bounces off of them and onto that radiometer. Maybe I should ask Richard Topham if this crystal ever got delivered. Looks like Josiah was a ham radio operator. Looks like I can't use the radio unless and until I replace the crystal. A part is missing. I've seen these symbols before. They were in that newspaper story about hobos.
Hello, Miss Drew.
Hello, Mr. Topham.
Now what?
Do you by any chance know who Marcel is?
Marcel was what Josiah called his favorite hat.
His hat? The man named his hat?
He loved that hat, so to him naming it made perfect sense.
Do you still have Marcel?
No, as a matter of fact, I gave that hat to Gloria Crandall. She said she was fond of the old fellow and wanted something to remember him by, although I suspect the real reason she wanted that hat was to see if he'd stashed any money in it.
Josiah ordered something from the Krollmeister Crystal Company just before he passed away. Do you know if it ever arrived?
You must be talking about that chunk of quartz that came last winter. I still have it right here. Why?
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm a rock collector. Do you think I could have it?
Perhaps we can work something out. You see, amazing as this is going to sound, I am able to project my thoughts into another person's brain.
Is that so?
The only problem is, not everyone has the intellectual capacity to receive my thoughts. But since you have already demonstrated a high level of intelligence, yes, you may very well be the ideal subject.
Subject? As in experiment?
You are going to help me prove that I am telepathic. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to shuffle a deck which contains 5 sets of these cards. Then I'm going to turn my back, draw a card, look at it, and start transmitting my thoughts. When you receive my thoughts, you will identify the card I'm looking at. Once you correctly identify 5 cards in a row, I'll give you that piece of quartz.
But what if I can't do it?
Just stay focused on the cards and my superior brain power will do the rest. Very well. Let's begin. Do you know what card I'm looking at?
This one.
Wonderful. Here's another. What card am I concentrating on?
This one.
Wonderful. Here's another. Do you know what card I'm looking at?
This one.
Wonderful. Here's another. What card am I looking at?
This one.
Wonderful. Here's another. This is which card?
This one.
Very good. You did it. Well, actually, I did it. But in any case, thank you for your assistance. Here's the piece of crystal that Josiah ordered. Take it. You've earned it. Well, actually, I earned it, but let's not quibble.
But Mr. Topham, you didn't really. I'm afraid that subconsciously you may have.
Yes?
Never mind.
Do you need anything else?
Do you mind if I look around some more?
Be my guest.
Hello, Mr. Waddell.
Now what?
I need for you to cut a blank from this piece of quartz.
No big deal. Let's see it.
The blank needs to be just like the one you made before for Josiah Crowley.
Like I said, no big deal. You're gonna have to cough up $2, though. You can pay me when you pick it up. Good day.
Did you deliver that telegram?
I sure did.
Good for you. Here's your money. And here's your next telegram. This one goes to Miss Ross at Sunnybrook Farm. Keep up the good work.
Hi, I have a telegram from Miss Ross.
My name's Rebecca, and I'm only 10, but I'll deliver it to her for you, I promise. I won't let you down or double-cross you or anything like that.
Well, okay. Thank you, Rebecca.
No sweat. You're welcome.
Did you deliver that telegram?
I sure did.
Good for you. Here's your money. And here's your next telegram. Deliver this to Dr. Bob out at the observatory. Keep up the good work.
I'm supposed to deliver this telegram to Dr. Bob.
That would be me, thank you.
Wow, that's a big telescope.
Come back after dark and I'll let you take a look. You can consider it your tip.
I may just do that. Bye-bye.
Did you deliver that telegram?
I sure did.
Good for you. Here's your money. And here's your next telegram. Deliver this to Miss Temple at Lowood Academy. Keep up the good work.
Hello, I've got a telegram for Miss Temple.
I am she. We teachers don't get paid much, you know.
I understand. Did this by any chance used to be the Brewster Academy?
Why, yes, it did.
Thought so. Bye.
Did you deliver that telegram?
I sure did.
Good for you. Here's your money. And here's your next telegram. This one goes to Dr. Ackerman out at the Deer Mountain Resort. Keep up the good work.
Hello, I'm delivering a telegram to Dr. Agerman.
I shall deliver it to the good doctor forthwith. He rarely tips, and I never do.
That's okay. Bye. I've only got half a tank of gas left. I should gas up before I forget.
Welcome to Zippy's, where zipless service is zippily zapped and zippy service is the zippiest. Fill her up?
Just 50 cents worth, please.
That'll be 50 cents.
Here you go.
Drive zippily.
Did you deliver that telegram?
I sure did.
Good for you. Here's your money. And here's your next telegram. This one's for Old Man Johnson out at his farm. Keep up the good work.
Are you Mr. Johnson?
Maybe. Who are you?
Well, my name's Nancy Drew, and if you are Mr. Johnson, I've got a telegram for you.
Well, thank you. Hey, you want a tip?
Sure.
Buy low, sell high.
Thanks, I'll remember that.
Did you deliver that telegram?
I sure did.
Good for you. Here's your money. And here's your next telegram. Go to the railroad station and deliver this to Willie Joe. Keep up the good work.
Hi, I'm supposed to deliver this telegram to Willie Joe. Is that you?
No, I'm Willie Joe's Uncle John. I see that she gets it, though.
She?
She, with a capital S.
Well, bye.
Did you deliver that telegram?
I sure did.
Good for you. Here's your money. And here's your next telegram. Take this to Phil Connor out at Krollmeister Nails. Keep up the good work.
I have a telegram for Phil Connor.
I'm Phil. Thank you. I got a tip for you. Here.
Ow, that's a nail.
That's what we make here. Nails. Beauty, ain't she?
Thanks, but no thanks, Mr. Connor. Bye.
Did you deliver that telegram?
I sure did.
Good for you. Here's your money. And here's your next telegram. This one here is for Helen C. White. She's at the library. Keep up the good work.
I have a telegram here for...
Shh! You're in a library.
Sorry. This telegram is for Helen C. White.
Who?
Helen C. White.
Bill and Steve Wright?
Helen C. White.
Shh!
Here.
A telegram for Miss White. I'll give it to her. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What?
Never mind.
Shh!
Did you deliver that telegram?
I sure did.
Good for you. Here's your money. And here's your next telegram. This one goes to Molly out at Vash's Dairy. Keep up the good work.
Hello, Mr. Waddell. Are you done making that blank?
Have you got my fee?
Right here.
Good. Here's the blank I cut for you. Enjoy.
Hi, Mr. Jones. I've got a telegram here for Molly.
She's in the milking shed. I'll give it to her. Say, I got some freshly churned butter here.
That's okay. Bye.
What's cooking?
Well, I'll talk to you later.
Don't take any wooden nickels.
What could have made this picture move?
Hi, Nancy.
Would you happen to know where your mother put Josiah's favorite hat?
Look in the drawer right below me. That's where all Mom's mementos are.
I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe this is the key to Josiah's safe deposit box.
Hello again.
I think I found the key to Josiah's safe deposit box.
Really?
I have it right here.
It is from this bank.
May I see if it opens the box?
It takes 2 keys to open a safe deposit box, the owner's key and my key. And in this case, I'm under no obligation to open it for you.
Oh, but
However, were you to do me a small favor...
Sure.
I hired a seamstress to make a dress for my wife's birthday next week. Unfortunately, the seamstress and I had a falling out, and now I need to find someone to finish the dress.
Maybe I could find somebody. How much are you willing to pay them?
Oh, the fact of the matter is, the dressmaker quit because I couldn't pay her. I misled you before. Business is not fine. This bank is on the brink of ruin.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Archer.
I wanted to get my wife something nice because, well, it might be the last nice thing she gets for a long, long time. Now, Emily once mentioned that Jane used to be a dressmaker.
Say no more. Just give me the dress and I'll take care of it.
I have it right here. The seamstress said that all the pieces have been cut out and basted together. All that's needed is a sewing machine. When it's finished, bring it back and I'll let you try that key in Josiah's safe deposit box.
I guess I'll be going.
Come back anytime.
Did you deliver that telegram?
I sure did.
Good for you. Here's your money. And here's your next telegram. Here's one for Audrey out at Blenheim Nursery. Keep up the good work.
What's cooking?
Since you used to be a dressmaker, do you think you could help me sew something?
Me? Sew? No, I can't. Sewing takes practice, and I haven't sewed a stitch in years. Whatever it is, believe me, I'd wreck it.
Then how about giving me some pointers?
No can do. Sorry.
Well, I'll talk to you later.
Alrighty-dighty.
Hi, Nancy.
I'll be back in a little bit.
You're the best.
Would it be all right if I used your sewing machine?
Go right ahead, but remember, you're on your own.
There's no needle.
It's probably in the box with the rest of Mom's sewing stuff. Ask Jane if she knows where it is.
What's cooking?
Would you happen to know where the needle for the sewing machine in Emily's room is?
I moved all of Gloria's sewing things out of there and put them in a little box. Look, I'm supposed to get the pies we baked before all the hullabaloo this morning ready for the delivery man. They gotta be put in the shipping container just so, or he casts a kitten. This is how he wants them organized. Now why don't you go out on the porch and get those pies ready to go while I look for that sewing box?
Sounds good. All done. Interesting. I'll bet those are the two brothers that built the inn and Josiah's house. I'll bet this was taken in that passageway I found. There's something written on the back.
Hi, Nancy.
I'll be back in a little bit.
You're the bee's knees.
Jeepers, I'm behind one of the walls in Emily's room. I'll bet that's how someone makes that picture move. I should ask Jane about the photo I found that allowed me to find that staircase that goes behind Emily's room. Guess I better not leave the lights on.
Thanks for doing the pies. The more I do it, the worse I seem to get at it. Here's that box. I'm sure that sewing machine needle is in there somewhere.
I see it.
Remember, when it comes to using it, you're on your own, kiddo.
I think I know why Emily has been seeing and hearing strange things.
Well, I'm all ears. Tell me.
I found a secret passageway that goes from the inn to Josiah Crowley's old house. And off of it, I found a staircase that leads to a space behind a wall in Emily's room. That's the staircase that's in this old picture.
You mean the noises that Emily's been hearing? The things she's been seeing? It's because someone's been sneaking around behind the wall in her room?
It may even be that someone is trying to scare her on purpose.
On purpose? Who would want to do something like that?
I was able to open the staircase because I saw the picture I just showed you. And I found that picture on the shelf in your podium.
You mean it was right there under my nose? Hold the phone! You think I'm the one who's been sneaking around?
Can you think of somebody else who may have had access to that picture?
Anyone who's ever been behind this desk could have seen that picture. It's hardly fair to go pointing a finger at me.
Maybe Emily will know something about it.
She went into town to run some errands. At least that's what I told her to do. Heaven knows she could use some fresh air.
Well, I'll talk to you later.
Don't take any wooden nickels.
There. Not bad, Miss Drew. Not bad at all.
I'll never forget the night it all began, that dark, stormy, fateful night when I decided the time had come to rid the world of the creature. But it would take money to do that, and to get money, I needed to confront my arch enemy, Nick, who had recently become able to transform himself fittingly into a giant warthog. When his forest hideaway came into view, I dismounted and approached the door on foot so I could take him by surprise. My fear that he would hear me proved groundless, for a terrible storm began to rage, washing away the sound of my footsteps. I peered through the rain-streaked window beside his front door and could see him sitting in front of the fire. He had returned to human form, but the malicious smile on his face suggested that he was recalling his recent porcine exploits. Seeing that the door was unlocked, I hurled it open and marched across the room toward him. "Step away from that bottle of warthog potion," I commanded, "and give me the 20 gold coins you stole from my poor servant." "I'm not going to give you a thing, save, perhaps, a taste of my sword." And with that, he drew his sword. In an instant, I had drawn mine, and so commenced the fiercest sword fight the world had ever known. The storm raging outside paled in comparison to our battle. To my surprise, Nick's experiences as a lower life form seemed to have improved his skill as a swordsman. I feinted, I parried, and yet victory eluded me. And soon I began to feel my strength ebbing from me. I was tiring rapidly. Summoning every ounce of what little energy remained in my body, I lunged at him one last desperate time. Ouch! Why, you've wounded me! I had managed to wound him on his right arm, just above the elbow. Curse you! His words, punctuated as they were by an untimely clap of thunder, sent a shiver down my spine. "Save your breath," I intoned, "and give me those gold coins." "Here, take your precious coins." He tossed the bag of coins onto a chair, but as I reached for them, he reached for his bottle of potion, and in a matter of seconds, my night had gone from bad to horrible.
How's the dress coming?
All done.
This is beautiful. Thank you. Now let's see if that key you found opens up Josiah's safe deposit box. That was Josiah's key, all right. But that is not Josiah's will.
It looks like some kind of journal. Would it be okay if I kept this?
If it was money or jewelry or something like that, I'd turn it over to Topham. But a journal? Finders keepers as far as I'm concerned. I'll be at my desk if you need me.
It's locked. Naturally. Flute, 7.025 megahertz. Puck! That's who Josiah played in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Pyramus, 7.057 megahertz. Thisbe, 7.050 megahertz. It looks like some kind of record of the people Josiah talked to on his ham radio.
Anything else I can do for you?
I guess I'll be going.
Come back anytime.
Hello, I've got a telegram here for Audrey.
I'll see that she gets it. Just leave it on the desk. My hands are still really filthy.
That's okay. Bye.
Hello, Miss Drew.
Hi, Mr. Topham.
Now what?
Could I see that copy of A Midsummer Night's Dream you have there?
Why?
Well, you said it was Josiah's favorite play. I'd just like to take a look at it.
It's a very old copy. I'd rather it not be handled unnecessarily, lest it fall completely apart. I'm sorry, Miss Drew, but request denied.
It was nice talking to you.
The feeling is almost mutual.
What's cooking?
Well, I'll talk to you later.
Don't take any wooden nickels.
Guess I better not leave the lights on. I don't hear anybody. Now would be a good time for me to sneak inside and have a quick look at that Shakespeare book.
Yori, be quiet. You're disturbing us. Clear your mind of all thoughts. Think about nothing save...
Josiah must have circled these quotes, but why? Something tells me I better write down all the stuff that's circled here in my journal.
Mr. Topham?
Yes, Mrs. Jackman?
Is it okay if I blink?
Yes, it's okay if you blink. Just keep focusing. Your eyes,
Phew! Meet with J. Archer at 9:30 a.m. about money. That's today.
Should I concentrate on the top edge or the bottom edge?
Either one, Mrs. Jackman. Just concentrate.
Mr. Topham?
Yes, Mrs. Jackman.
Guess I better not leave the lights on. Hello? Is anyone there? Hello?
This is Flute, but you sure don't sound like Puck, so explain yourself.
My name's Nancy Drew.
So where's Puck?
Well, I'm pretty sure Puck's real name was Josiah Crowley, and I hate to say it, but he passed away earlier this year.
Ah, that's a shame. Heck, I never got to give him his sentence.
What sentence is that?
Well, see, a while back, Puck dictated a sentence to me and told me that if and when he recited a certain passage from Shakespeare, I was to respond with that sentence. Weird fellow, that Puck.
If I tell you the passage, will you tell me the sentence?
Well, yeah, sure, I guess. Especially seeing as Puck's no longer with us.
Shall we their fond pageant see? Lord, what fools these mortals be.
That's it. Here, let me check my logbook for the response. Now I'm supposed to say, leave by road when the owner is in, because then there will be thieves about.
Leave by road when the owner is in, because then there will be thieves about?
Those were Puck's exact words.
Did you know Puck very well?
I felt like I did. Met him over the radio a couple of years ago. What a character. What'd you say his real name was?
Josiah Crowley.
Strange. I never heard of him.
Why is that strange?
He led me to believe he was this big cheese out in Hollywood, you know, some famous producer, director or something. Said he owned his own studio.
He didn't own a studio, and he certainly didn't live in Hollywood.
I'll be darned. So he was just lying to me. Well, that's all right. I may have told him a fib or three over the years myself. Like the time I told him I was a scratch golfer. I don't even know what that means. In any case, hope I've been of some help. Over and out.
Hello? Is anyone there? Hello?
I'm Thisbe, but only Puck calls me that. Who's this?
My name's Nancy Drew. I'm afraid I have some bad news about Puck.
Oh dear, they closed the play he was starring in, didn't they? That's why I haven't heard from him. He's too far down in the dumps. Oh, I was afraid it was something like that.
Actually, you haven't heard from him because he passed away several months ago.
Oh my, that's worse, isn't it? And after all that rigmarole he went through, making sure I knew my line and understood my cue?
Your cue?
Yes, you see, Puck, or whatever his real name is, or was, Puck wanted to share his love of acting with me, so he gave me a line to say, a very curious line I might add, and told me to repeat it only after I heard my cue. A passage written by Mr. William Shakespeare.
So if I cue you with a passage, you'll respond with the line he gave you to say?
Immediately. I know it by heart, you see.
Here goes. If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear.
The authorities are alert for bad water, so do not go this way.
The authorities are alert for bad water, so do not go this way.
That's what I was to say, although my delivery was much better when Puck was coaching me. And now, as Puck was fond of saying, I bid you adieu. Over and out.
Pyramus, can you hear me? Hello?
This is Pyramus. Who are you?
My name's Nancy Drew. Does somebody named Puck usually call you on this frequency?
Somebody named Puck used to. Apparently he found something better to do. Haven't talked to him in months.
Well, that's because he passed away not too long ago.
Oh, well, that's a good excuse, I guess. How'd you know he called me Pyramus?
I'm a friend of his. I found your name and radio frequency in his journal.
So why are you talking to me?
Did Puck, ever ask you to tell him something whenever he read a certain passage from Shakespeare?
Whenever he rattled off this Shakespeare quote, I was supposed to rattle off this stupid saying he gave me. How did you know about that?
Long story. But if I were to rattle off the quote, there's no reason why you can't tell me the stupid saying, right?
Well, come to think of it, he never said the quote had to come from him, so yeah, I guess I could tell you.
Thou speakest aright. I am that merry wanderer of the night.
How'd you know?
Long story. What did he tell you to say in response?
Wait a minute, I had to write it down. Here, you're gonna love this. A barking dog would do well to hold his tongue in a dangerous neighborhood.
A barking dog would do well to hold his tongue in a dangerous neighborhood.
I told you it was stupid.
I really appreciate your help.
Just out of curiosity, what kind of car did Puck drive, do you know?
I don't think he had a car.
And he tried to tell me he was rich. Over and out.
Flute is a character in A Midsummer Night's Dream.
Whoa!
A golf ball, no doubt meant to be used on that golf course of Josiah's. Another safe deposit box key?
Emily, please, just settle down. It's all right. It's not all right. Stop lying. Something's wrong with me.
You've got to go talk to Emily. She's in a bad way.
Did you tell her about the secret passageway I found?
I never got the chance. Please, go talk to her. She won't listen to me. I'm no help at all.
Just go back to River Heights, Nancy.
But I think I know where the real Will is.
It doesn't matter. I can't run the inn anyway. I'm going to have to sell it.
What do you mean?
I took a nap after I got back from running errands, and when I woke up, this was in my hand. It's one of the necklaces that I thought had been stolen. I have no idea how it got there. I must do things and not remember. All this responsibility on top of losing Mom. I can't cope with it. I'm having what'd Jane call it? A nervous breakdown.
No, you're not.
I don't want to talk anymore. Go home. You're just making things worse.
Did you talk to her? Do you see what I mean? No wonder I never saw or heard anything. It was all in her mind.
I'm not so sure, Miss Willoughby. What's more, I think I've found something that'll solve all her problems. I'll talk to you later.
Drop a nickel into the slot. Very good. Now, how may I be of service?
Hi, Mr. Kowski. Could you please connect me with my dad? His number is KL57187.
Hang on a minute.
Carson Drew.
Hi, Dad.
Nancy, everything okay?
It turns out that the bank Jim Archer owns is in danger of failing.
That's terrible. How do you know?
He told me, after first telling me he was doing just fine.
He lied to you? That's disturbing.
It also makes me sure that that was his car I saw outside the inn this morning.
You think he stole that jewelry? If that were the case, why would he tell you that he was going under? All his problems would have been solved.
Maybe it's not just him. Maybe he's working with someone.
Or maybe you're just barking up the wrong tree.
Goodbye, Dad.
See you tonight.
Drop a nickel. Very good. Now, how may I be of service?
Hi, could you please connect me with Bess Marvin at KL54468?
Just a second. Hello?
Hi.
Hi, Nancy.
I discovered that Jim Archer was at Richard Topham's this morning, right around the time that someone stole Emily's jewelry.
I'll bet they planned the heist together.
It does kind of look that way.
But why would Topham bother to steal those jewels after Josiah left him all that money?
Maybe he knows if the real Will turns up, he'll probably be left without a cent, so he's hedging his bets.
If you ask me, it's just a case of pure and simple greed.
That's it for now.
Call back soon.
Did you deliver that telegram?
I sure did.
Good for you. Here's your money. And here's your next telegram. Take this to Margaret Judson at the Deer Mountain Resort. Keep up the good work.
I'm glad you stopped by. I need to clear the air about something. I lied before, not just when I said the bank was doing fine when it's really not, but when I said that wasn't my car you saw parked outside the inn today. I parked it there because I didn't want anyone to know that I was at Richard Topham's begging him for money. This bank is in truly dire financial straits, and if anyone finds out...
Mr. Archer, I already knew you were at Richard Topham's today. I saw your name in his calendar.
Oh, so what can I do for you?
I guess I'll be going.
Give my best to Emily. Hello again.
I found another safe deposit box key that belonged to Josiah.
Impossible. Josiah only had one box, and you've already opened it.
Can you tell me whose key this is?
It is one of ours. Where did you get it?
I won it playing golf at Josiah's with a special ball. I had to ace one of the holes.
Why does that sound familiar? I know why. That's what Clara always called me, her ace in the hole.
That's who this key belongs to, Clara Pickford.
So, Clara Pickford was really Josiah Crowley in disguise.
Apparently, he loved playing tricks like that on people and hiding things right under their noses. I wonder what this is. Gloria Dowd, now Crandall, and Jane Willoughby, circa 1912.
Jane Willoughby? That doesn't look the least bit like Jane Willoughby.
No, it certainly doesn't. I'd better get back to the Lilac Inn and have a talk with her right now.
Move out of the way, would you please? I'm kind of in a hurry.
You're not going anywhere until you tell me who you really are.
What are you talking about?
I just saw a picture of Jane Willoughby, the real Jane Willoughby.
It's been swell knowing you, sister.
I can't let Jane out of my sight. Bet she's heading for the state line. I know. I'll take a shortcut and head her off.
Why couldn't you just mind your own business?
Dear Ned, I know you'll be home from school in a couple of days, but I couldn't wait to tell you. I just solved a mystery. I figured out that Emily Crandall's guardian was really an imposter named Marion, who intercepted the letter Emily wrote to Jane Willoughby after her mom died. She pretended to be Jane not only so she could steal Emily's valuables, but so she could convince Emily that she was incapable of running Lilac Inn, and that she should sell it and split the money with her. On top of all that, I found Josiah Crowley's real will. In it, he left Emily so much money that she'll be able to hire all the people she needs to keep the inn going. He left Jim Archer a ton of money too, which means he won't have to close his bank. And from now on, he'll be able to buy his wife a new dress anytime he wants. As for Richard Topham, Josiah left him nothing. Although Topham still refuses to admit that he forged the first will and insists that he's going to contest the will I found. Dad says it's highly doubtful he'll succeed, and that he'd be better off sticking to spoon tricks. Anyway, when you get home, I'll give you all the details over a nice big piece of slightly damaged cherry pie. Wait till you hear that part of the story. As always, Nancy. Great news, I think. See, Frank and Joe Hardy have invited me to help them solve a mystery. Only this mystery takes place on a train. But not just any train, a train that was found abandoned years ago in the middle of nowhere. All of its passengers had simply vanished. Some people say the train is jinxed. Others say it's haunted. I mean, it'll be fun to finally get to work alongside the Hardy boys, but I just hope the trip we're going on doesn't turn out to be, one way.